I absolutely love the book. There are parts of it I read 2 or 3 times. I'd go away for a week and then think, well, what did he say about so and so? And I'll go back and read it. But your wife contributed a chapter, and um, it's a great chapter. I love it. And she even did these cute little diagrams. But both of you stress breathing. In other places throughout the book and in that chapter, she talks about the brain stem and the effect the brain has on our digestion. And so, not the thinking part of the brain, but the primitive part, the brain stem. And that made me really think how much stress is playing a role, because I'm so excited about talking to you that my voice is raspy. And that's not normally like that, but um, it's kind of stress, you would say. But one of the things, as I learned these things throughout the book, and one of the things I learned is that we can reflux when we eat a couple of times, 2 or 3 times. I thought that's amazing, and we don't even know that's happening. And then, her focus on stress made me realize that we're going to get that reflex and all happening when we're under stress, which is for some people always. And so, can you talk to that a little bit about breathing? Would that be a good thing to do if you had heartburn? Um, and then about the brain and its effect. And that chapter that your wife wrote.
So there's a couple of mechanisms there that make it really important to use your diaphragm when you breathe, right? I mean, if you're jogging or walking really fast and you have to breathe faster, you're mostly going to use shallow thoracic breathing, shallow chest breathing, because you have to breathe rapidly to get in more air to deal with the exertion. And unfortunately, if you breathe that way, even when you're relaxed and don't need to breathe fast, that triggers the brainstem, like you said, the oldest part of the brain, to think that, well, if your heart's racing fast and you're breathing fast, your brainstem thinks, this person must be getting chased by a wild animal and I'm about to die. And so, if you're about to die, you don't need to digest your food. You need to run. You need the blood and the energy in your brain and in your extremities so you can run or fight to the death. And that's the kind of primitive way that the brain seems to work. Your brainstem is designed to keep you alive, and your limbic system, your emotional brain, is there to make sure you never forget something that your brainstem thought was going to kill you, so you won't get into that situation again. And a lot of people have trouble with those with those parts of their brain, which you can't take to, by the way, you can't take those to counseling because you can't talk. Those parts don't talk. They just react dramatically in the moment. So, there's the parasympathetic nervous system. Rest and digest is the way that's described. And then there's the sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight. There's also freeze, sometimes a third one. So if your brainstem thinks, because of the way you're breathing rapidly and in your chest, if your brainstem thinks you're about to die, it's going to turn on the sympathetic nervous system so you can fight to the death or run like crazy, fight or flight. And that's not going to leave much parasympathetic tone for rest and digest. So to fool your brainstem into thinking you're safe, if you chew thoroughly, that stimulates nerves that, trigeminal nerve, for instance, that control the muscles in your jaw. That, together with breathing slowly through your diaphragm, that really lets and that's the phrenic nerve, but that really lets your brainstem know that, hey, this person's got all the time in the world to eat this meal. They must not be getting chased by anything. They're not in danger. And it lets the whole parasympathetic tone turn on. And the vagus nerve, which has most of that innervation to the digestive tract and the heart, can really start to promote proper digestion. And that includes the sphincter tones, the production of enzymes and acid and bicarbonate in different parts of the digestive tract, and the motility that moves food through all the way down through the lower GI tract. So real important.